what is our first main topic today?
This is from David. Hey, John. I read that Tom Holland reportedly lobbied very hard for Iger and Rotherman to come back to the table and get a new deal. So, do you think Holland's efforts actually had an impact on the negotiations? Or is this just PR spin? Also, should Holland's lobbying have made a difference? He is, after all, just an actor. Well, just an actor. Should he have even had any say? Do you think he helped? What are your thoughts?
No. No. Look, so here's the deal. There's this story going around, and it's a great story. It's a story that makes us smile and feel good. But the thing is, I've been getting all these messages from people the last 24 hours. John, did you hear that it was Tom Holland that saved the Spider-Man deal? It was Tom Holland that did it. It's like, okay, so here's basically the story. What has come out and what is true is that Tom Holland himself reached out to the head of Sony and reached out to the head of Disney and, kind of asked him, said, hey, it'd be great if you guys could actually come back to the bargaining table and make this thing happen. That is true. That happened. It did. But this notion that Bob Iger was sitting around in his, mansion inside of a mansion on top of his yacht and going, no, not going to let Spider-Man back in the MCU. We're not going to work with those Sony guys. And then his phone rings. Sir, it's Tom Holland. What? Tom Holland? Well, I better take this. And he got on the phone. Well, the thing is, Mr. Holland, I just don't feel it's a good deal. Shut up, Iger, and do what I'm telling you. Oh, yes, Mr. Holland. Yes, I'll go back to No, that didn't happen. It's a nice little story. It's a feel-good thing. It makes us feel like the guys involved were kind of on the same side that most of us were on, that we wanted to see a deal come out between these two. It's a nice story. And I love hearing that Tom Holland, took the initiative on himself and made those calls. I guarantee you they never took his calls. I almost guarantee he probably left a voicemail. But I think that's a great story. And it makes me feel good that Holland was on our side. I agree. But to think for 1 second that Rothman and Iger were like, well, we better do what Tom Holland says, I think is the kindest way I'll put it is naive. I think the kindest way I'll put it is not. It's a great story. I loved hearing it. I loved reading it. But let's not go beyond, at least I don't think, Rob, let's not go beyond what it is. It's a nice thing to hear, but there's no way it's like, well, we weren't going to do it, but since Tom wanted us to, then we'll do it. Nah, that's not what happened. Anyway, am I just being overly pessimistic about this? And am I just being like crusty on this, Rob? How do you see it?
Just like you said, it's not exactly like, I'd like to believe this is Mr. Holland's opus. I would like to believe that all the kids that he's ever taught love him. But it's not how business works. It ain't show friends, it's show business. And there's a lot of business that had to be done between both of these companies. And by the way, it's good business. I think a lot of people believe that they're doing the right thing, that it's more beneficial for both studios, for both franchises and both Spider universes to have some kind of a connection. And Marvel has done a wonderful job with this. And I think that Sony has done well. It's amazing we got this in the first place, and I think it's great. But it wasn't just because Tom Holland wanted it to happen, or us, for that matter. The business people had to want it to happen, and so it did.
Chris, from your point of view, is this something, are we just being unromantic here and not believing that if you believe it, you can make it happen? And Tom Holland spun his magical dancing magic, and I don't know,
no.
No? Okay.
I mean, it's great that Tom wanted this, but everyone who's on Twitter right now, too, Tom Holland's belief in the Spider-Man movies restored my faith in humanity. Y'all need to, figure out your lives. Jesus, what's happening? If Tom Holland is what restored your faith, Lord.
I'm sorry, I almost choked on my drink.
Let's understand, people. Tommy got to eat.
Yeah.
Tommy got to eat.
He's got to eat. Of course he wants to say that he likes his movies and wants to have a good merger. What? I also think this whole thing, the back and forth between Sony and Disney and Tom being involved, I think all of it's been a PR stunt. I think all of it has just been out in public as a big PR stunt. I don't believe in magic. Disney is corporate. Everything's bad. I don't believe that Tom Holland magically did anything. I'm feeling very pessimistic about that.
But it's nice.
I mean, it's a sweet story, but
certainly
it's a
couldn't have hurt.
story. Yeah.
It certainly couldn't have hurt that you had him. And I remember, because I was at D23 and I was in the room when Tom Holland came
you were
out.
in the room? Do you want to just rub that in more?
Sorry, Chris was there, but she
Cool.
couldn't get in the room. And they said, they brought her over, security brought her over to me and they said, sir, this woman says she's with you. I'm like, I don't know her. And then they
was
dragged her
terrible.
away.
It was
Anyway,
terrible.
so, but I was there in the room when they were talking about Onward, the new animated film coming out where Tom Holland and Chris Pratt are doing voices. And, everybody's waiting. When are you guys going to address this Spider-Man situation? Nobody did. But as he was walking off stage, Tom Holland paused, had the mic and said, hey, I know it's been a crazy couple days, but I just wanted to say I love you all 3,000. And he walked up and we were like, no, Tom, no. And everybody it was a nice moment. So I don't know. It's a really nice sounding story. I liked it. I liked hearing this, but it was not Tom Holland and his great diplomatic acumen that saved the Spider-Man deal. It's just not.
And also, let's remember why he would want to do something like that in the first place. It is about getting paid. He didn't do it out of the goodness of his heart for fans across the world. He didn't know if they're going to start a new Spider-Man franchise over at Sony that's out of the MCU. He wanted a job. He wanted to make sure that Tommy was going to be around for a couple more movies. Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why he's an actor. He's trying to get paid to do work.
And he did well.
Yeah.
All right, guys, listen, question is, what do you make of it? Do you think we're just being crusty about this? And John, you're not seeing the beautiful magic side of this. It was tough. Maybe you do, and maybe you got good reasons for it. Jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.